Can you explain koto ni suru and koto ni naru and yo ni suru? I think he wants a slash in there, ni naru. Get their meanings and their general lessons of... I don't know, I'm just saying. Okay. Are there lessons about koto and you that we could... Can you guys just proofread a little bit? Gosh, you guys are killing me. Hello and welcome to another, and wow, it's not even how I do this, is it? Hello and welcome to YesJapan.com, Japanese from Zero, Ask a Teacher Live, where instead of talking about what I want to talk about, we talk about what you want to talk about, and we answer your questions the best that we can in English, but about Japanese. This is Ask a Teacher Live number 113, 113. First question, and we have a lot today. First question is from Jessman, 1999. He says, we were talking about dialects, and some people wanted to know if you can speak any Tsugaru or Aomori Ben. Maybe that's kind of a question. I don't know. If it ends with a question mark, it's a, oh, there's no question mark. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not a question. Moving on. Is there a system to Tsugaru Ben? Okay. Oh, wow. All right, we're talking about Tsugaru Ben, which is the dialect. By the way, Ben, you're going to hear that. Anything, something Ben is going to be a dialect of the area. And Japan used to be these independent villages, basically, that all had their own, these little areas had their own languages. And then when Tokugawa Ieyasu unified Japan, the language sort of unified, if I remember my history correctly. And then you've got the official Japanese language, which is Hyojungo, which means official or standard Japanese. But you've got very large dialects also throughout the country. You've got the biggest probably, or the most famous, Kansai Ben. There's even a website that people were throwing around in the chat room earlier that I didn't know existed. Looks pretty cool. Kansaiben.com. Kansaiben.com. Jessman was throwing that one around. And I believe he was taking requests for people to send, he was sending them PDFs to their email about Tsugaru Ben, which is the dialect used in northern Japan. Do I know that? You know what? I lived there for a long time. I lived there for 9 years in the Aomori area. And it turns out that that's what my Japanese was, 100%, when I came back. When I was 20 years old, I came back. That's 20 years ago, for those of you that are keeping track. And I was a tour guide. And it turns out everybody knew I came from Aomori because of my accent. But now, unfortunately, you know, my wife is from Hyogo Prefecture, which is Kansai dialect, and I did a tour guide job where people from all over the country came around, especially from the Kansai area. So I now probably speak more Kansai dialect than I do any Tsugaru Ben. And you know what? The only time I ever do Tsugaru Ben now is a joke. So Japanese people will say to me, first of all, this is what they say. This is the conversation. Nande Nihongo hanaseru desu ka? Right? Why do you speak Japanese? And I say, Nihon ni 9 nenkan imashita. I was there for 9 years. I was in Japan for 9 years. And then they say, nande Nihon ni ittan desu ka? Which means, why did you go to Japan? But if you know what nande does, it can also mean, how did you go to Japan? So even though I know they meant, why did I go to Japan? I love to do this. They go, nande Nihon ni ittan desu ka? Why did you go to Japan? I say, hikoki de, by airplane. They never think I'm joking. They think I just screwed up the Japanese. And it's the best time to make that joke because they're saying, wow, your Japanese is really good. Why do you know Japanese? Why were you in Japan? Airplane? Right. And I also like to do this. I've talked about it in one of the 500 videos on the website. But they say, Nihongo wa jouzu desu ne. Your Japanese is really good. And I like to go, jouzu te nan desu ka? What does jouzu mean? For those of you that don't know, jouzu means your Japanese is good, right? Good. Anyway. So I only joke about it now. So I'll say, Mukasu yo sabeta kedo na. I'll do like that. I'll sound like I'm from the Tsugaru area, like the Tsugaru dialect. But I really don't know. Let's talk about it a little bit. They end their sentences with be a lot. And I still say this all the time. I still say ikube. But they send their K sounds also become very G-like. So it'll be like, ikube. Okay, we're going. It's like in Hyojungo, it's like saying, ikuyo. Okay, we're getting ready to go. And maybe, you know, they even use it as a question. Igube? You know, Igube? Yosui be? It's cheap, right? It's almost like desho, you know. Iku desho? You're going, right? Ikube? Ikube? Right? All right. They'll also do this. Watashi becomes wa. And this is a thing that you do in Tsugaru dialect, or Tohoku-ben is actually Tohoku-ben, which is the area where I was in is called Tohoku, so it's called Tohoku dialect. I'm not sure, honestly, if there's a difference between Tohoku-ben and Tsugaru. And by the way, I think it's great to learn dialects, and if you're in a country area, you're going to learn that dialect anyway. But I would try to get through Hyojungo first, because, you know, try to get really good at that before you start playing around with it. But of course, you know, one of the funniest things you can do as a foreigner is say something in a really awkward dialect that they're not expecting. I know a lot of little things from the various people that I've met. They teach me small dialect things, and it's fun. You know, for example, Okinawa has their entire, Pixel 101 in the chat room was making very good points, but that's not a dialect. That's an entirely different language. It's called Uchinaguchi, but it's literally an entirely different language. Like itai is ouch, or it hurts in Tokyo or in all of Japan, but in Okinawa it's aga. And by the way, if you want to learn a little bit more about dialects, watch the Japanese dialects topic from the George and Keiko show from about 9 years ago. So it's on the website. But they'll say waga instead of watashi ga. They'll say waga for me. Also, my name changed from Joji to Jozu. I'm like, wow, you guys keep telling me how good I am at things, right? Jozu dane. Like, I'd say, onamae nansu ka? I was like, Joji desu. Oh, Jozu. Oh, thank you. They really can't say. The old guys cannot say Joji for their life. It's all Jozu. All right. Now, Pixel 101, he had a backup question. Because maybe I wasn't going to use that question. By the way, thank you for that question. That was a great question. He had a backup question. This is a good one. He says, what is kanari? Kanari. I don't remember this being in any of the YJ lessons. That's true. It's not. I don't believe it is either. I believe it has a feeling of the English word fairly. I think that's a fairly good assessment of what kanari is. Let's look at this. 私は昨日だったかな？一昨日か昨日か忘れたけども、昨日にしましょう。昨日、Pacific Rim という映画を見ました。I saw the movie, I believe it was yesterday, Pacific Rim yesterday. I think it was Saturday. You know, God, that so doesn't matter. I'm sorry, it's just like an important detail. But it was a pretty good movie. It was pretty interesting. So I could say, Pacific Rim はかなり面白かったです。かなり。And a lot of times they'll make it like, it'll sound like there's an extra N in there. かなり面白い. Like because it's like a feeling word, right? It's an emotional word. It shows you how much you thought it was interesting. So it's like, wow, it was very interesting. Pretty interesting. It was a really good movie. I feel like it's one of those classics. You should go see it.
Hey guys, it's George from the future. I am many, many years in the future from that particular gentleman right there teaching you something that's not true. And I wanted to call him out on it. No one says kannari. They might say kannari. They might like lengthen the ka, but they don't say kannari. And I was hoping against all hope that I was right, but I couldn't find anything online. And then I called my wife for the kiss of death, really, where she said, "What were you namateta? Was I not dialecting? What was the word? What does that mean?" Now, see, just look up this word here, namaru. Hang on, I just never really thought what this is in English. Namaru. To speak with an accent. Were you speaking with an accent? To be corrupted of word, to mispronounce. Namatteta. So I wasn't. I thought that's what it was. I mean, young George Trombley of 2013 doesn't know is not as humble. Let's just say is not as humble as 2019 George. As always, if I say anything wrong in any of the videos that you watch, including these throwback ones, please post in the comments. Now, let's go back in time to 2013 and continue down the road of Mr. Trombley of old. Bye.
Best Godzilla movie ever. Let me just put that out there. All right, next question. Thank you for that one. It was a great question. Next question is from Isaiah 504. He says, hello, Georgie Sensei. How important is Kegel? How often, if ever, do you use do you use it in real life situations? I'm going to assume you're from a country where English isn't your native language, so wow, your English is really good. I personally don't use that much Kegel. Kegel means the formal stuff. Matter of fact, we don't even teach Kegel until book 4, which just came out August 1st. And it's actually a new lesson that I added because it was nowhere existing in any of the lessons. It's still not on yesjapan.com, but we have a lesson called Introduction to Formal Japanese. And here we teach you some tricks to sound more polite than you know. Making simple sentences sound formal by just adding simple things. We talk about that, and we give you some verbs. What the big thing with the formal Japanese is the verbs change. They're not the same verb. For example, iku becomes irashaimasu or irasharu. They have these. I haven't got a good name for them. I think I called them aru verbs. But there's irasharu, which takes over iru, to be. It takes over iku, and I believe it also takes over kuru. It takes over 3 verbs to be very polite for those verbs. You have gozaru, which takes over imasu and arimasu. Okay, let me take that back. Does it take over imasu? Yeah, in some cases it does. So that's the hard part, is that it's an entirely new set of verbs. One that you already know is itadakimasu, is what you say before you eat. Itadakimasu. That's really polite. That's one of the formal verbs, but it's very common because it means I receive. The non-polite way is moraimasu, but itadakimasu is the polite way or the formal way to use that. There's one more. It's for to see. Goran ni naru. Wow, I sort of brain onara there for a second. Onara. Good word, look it up. Yeah, you say goran ni narimashita ka, which means did you see it? Goran ni narimashita ka. So those are the big things. Do I use it? Yeah, every now and then, randomly, because I'm not a polite guy. I'm pretty down to earth with Japanese people, and some people will say, well, don't you want to be polite and not rude? And wouldn't it be nice to be as polite as possible? Yeah, but there's a thing that the Japanese polite words do. They put a barrier between you and the person that you're talking to. Because if you're American or European, most other parts of the world, they don't have these really strong polite phrases. Those polite phrases are really, in Japanese, only really useful in the very beginning. Because once you get to know somebody, you don't have to be that way. If you're talking to your boss or your teacher, yeah, you should be really formal. But you know what, even then, I have interpreted for so many high-level CEOs. And I think the highest level CEO I ever interpreted for was, I don't remember his name, but it was for a company called Oriental Land Company, which, by the way, owns Tokyo Disneyland. And I was not polite. Only in the first few minutes that I was making things sound polite and ending des, with des and must. But after we started getting to know each other, I went right to the normal speak, and it wasn't rude, and I didn't get fired on the spot. So, wow, I think I answered like that for like 30 minutes. But hopefully I got something out of that. All right, thank you for the question. Good question. Next question is from Ego Plant. Oh, hang on. I'm just watching the chat room, and there's a little bit of a delay for me. I apologize. No, you won't be rude. If you don't use the formal stuff, you won't be rude. And even if you are accidentally rude, just because it's not formal Japanese doesn't mean it's impolite Japanese, right? If you use any must form verb or any des words, they call it des must ke or des must format. You're going to be polite enough. You don't need to know the formalities, and they don't expect you to know the formalities if you're a foreigner. Yes, if you know them, it's awesome, but I'm going to warn you, you won't be special if you know them, because a lot of foreigners, too many, learn those really formal phrases, and they never get out of that mode, and that becomes a stereotypical foreigner. The reason why I am so impressive to Japanese people when they meet me is I'm not saying those really polite or really formal Japanese like most of the foreigners that learn Japanese do. I'm speaking everyday Japanese, and that's what you should shoot for, to be natural every day. If you're in the government, you're going to be talking to the Prime Minister of Japan, that's one thing, but you're not going to. There's only one guy on earth that's probably going to have that job that's visiting this website right now. All right. Ego Plant. His question is, excuse me. So I know what gurai means, or kudai. And by the way, I accidentally read that as gurai, but it's kind of back and forth. It could be gurai or kurai. It's very typical. Means after an amount. So you can say, for example, 100ドル gurai means about $100. But what does it mean after a verb? Okay, it's the same thing after a verb and a noun. So we're gonna do that. I hope I have a verb version in there. I do see that my next slide is a noun version. I always see it after dictionary form verbs. Is it similar to hodo? Good. Hodo is like saying as much as, right? Or it's not so important, so is enough to do this or that. But we're not going to talk about hodo. We're going to talk about gurai right now. So let's look at this sentence, which you might not have heard this. We have not talked about this ever in an Ask a Teacher yet. Sara gurai, jibun de aratte kudasai yo. Now, translating this in English, I can't think of a clearly easy way to translate this, but it's, look, man, the dishes, you should wash them yourself, all right? The level of dishes, literally, or, look, dishes, you can do those on your own. Sara gurai jibun de yatte kudasai yo. Jibun de aratte kudasai yo. So they're saying, maybe there's some other things that are hard, like you never wash anything, but dude, come on, you can do dishes. Sara gurai wa dekiru desho. Sara gurai wa dekiru desho. You can do dishes. Really, in English, there's no word that replaces that gurai. It's more of a nuance in English. All right, let's look at another one. Let's say, you're always pulling out your iPhone when you're doing addition. Someone says to you, Tashizan gurai, right? Tashizan means addition. Tashizan gurai atama no naka de dekiru desho. Come on, man. I know you can do addition in your brain, in your head. You can at least, there you go. You can at least, that's a good word. You can at least do addition in your head. You can at least do the dishes. That's a good word for it right there. Let's look at another one. Nihongo gurai oboyasui gengo wa nai desu. Now, this one is similar to hodo, which you were saying. So this means there is no language as easy as Japanese for remembering. Right? It's no language as easy as. So hodo could replace this gurai here and could be Nihongo hodo oboyasui gengo wa nai. There is no language as easy as Japanese to remember. All right. There you go. That's it. Thanks for the question. Next question is from Tenchi. Excuse me. Tenchi says, between zo and se, which do you use when he has it twice, when you want to say made of XXX? For example, moku zo and moku se. When should you use one over there? Well, let's look at both of these words. So moku se is the word that I use to say wooden. So se means it's like a manufacturing word, right? It's made with what? Moku. Moku is a reading of the word ki, or wood. Tree is ki. One way to read that kanji is moku. Together it becomes mokusei, to mean wooden. Well, apparently, and I had to look it up because I don't use mokuzo in this way, mokuzo also means wood. But you know how it works, right? You never hear a word in your entire life, and then immediately after hearing it, you hear it all over the place. There is another word that I thought he meant initially, but the kanji is different. Mokuzo. This is a wooden figure. Mokuzo. It's written. This zo can be used for hyozo, which is an ice sculpture or an ice statue. Dozo, which is a copper statue. That's why I feel like mokuzo, this one is not used as much because of a similar word that's more prominent. So let's look at other way. There's another reason why I think mokusei is more common. That's because all the other words that say made with use sei. For example, kinzokusei means metallic or made with metal. Kinzokusei. Nihonsei. You'll see that on the back of Japanese t-shirts if they're made in Japan on the label. It'll say Nihonsei, made in Japan. Any country plus sei. For example, Chugokusei, made in China. That's a great question. And honestly, the answer is basically what I gave you, but you might find out as you study Japanese that, wow, mokuzo is used to mean wooden by a certain industry or by certain types of people. But in my experience, mokusei is the correct word to say wooden. Thank you. All right, next question is, I believe, from a new user. I haven't seen this guy before, or girl. Gambo. Gambo says, can you explain, and by the way, I'm going to give this the best question of the night because it's really a big, big question. And it's sort of an advanced question. I hope Gambo knows a little bit of Japanese and isn't just asking this as a level 1 student. But he says, can you explain koto ni suru and koto ni naru and yo ni suru? I think he wants a slash in there, ni naru. Get their meanings and their general lessons of... I don't know, I'm just saying. Okay. Are there lessons about koto and you that we could... Can you guys just proofread a little bit? Gosh, you guys are killing me. I know it's a Japanese show, but come on, man. I'm just going to assume you're from Czechoslovakia, if that's a country that even exists anymore. Your English is getting really good.
I am so sorry, Gambo. I see it now that it's koto and yo, not koto and you. That's the problem with romanization. You should all learn. Now, back in the day, I always cut and paste the question as is. So if someone used romanization, I would use romanization. So it's kind of your fault, Gambo. You kind of screwed me up. Still no excuse. I should have realized that was koto and yo. Let's keep watching for the answer.
So let's talk about this. And by the way, yes, there are lessons in book 4 that cover koto. I'm not sure if we talk about koto in any other book prior to that, but book 4 has extensive discussion on koto. And the word koto means thing, and it's a virtual thing, not an actual physical thing, but an idea type thing, something that's non-physical. But beyond that, it's used in a lot of grammar. Wow, I'm sort of losing my voice. I apologize. So let's look at the first one. Iku koto ni suru. So iku koto literally is the way of nominalizing or making the verb into a noun. It means going, right? To go. Iku koto, going. So, but ni suru here is used to say, I've decided on. So, iku koto ni suru is to decide on going. So, if you want to say, I decided to go, you say, iku koto ni shimashita. I've decided to go. For example, maybe you didn't know what country you wanted to go to. You could have went to Korea, you could have went to Taiwan, you could have went to China. You decided to go to Japan. So, your friends say, hey, where did you decide to go? Nihon ni iku koto ni shimashita. I decided to go to Japan. That's what the koto does. We're gonna go back to it. Let me see. Give me a second. Boy, I hope I didn't cover up. I think I'll come back to the naru in a second. Let me just flip ahead and make sure I'm not missing a slide or two. Okay, good. We got it. We got that slide. All right. So now let's look at yoni naru. So koto ni suru is you decided to do something. Ikeru yoni naru is the situation has changed that I will be able to go now. So ikeru is to be able to go. And a lot of times you'll find that be able to go, be able to do a verb plus yo is a real common thing because you didn't used to be able to do something, but now you can do it. And yo is the situation. Ikeru yo ni narimashita. Or I jumped ahead to the naru, I apologize. Ikeru yo ni suru means you're gonna make it so that you can do it. Suru is always an active verb. It's something that you do. So to make it so that you can go. For example, let's say you're talking about going to Japan again, and you don't have the time off at work. Your wife doesn't want you to go. There's a whole bunch of reasons why you can't go. And your friends say, come on, man, we gotta go. We talked about this forever. You can say, daijoubu, it's okay. Ikeru yo ni shimasu. I'll do my best. I'll do it. I'll make it so that I can go. So that I can go. All right? This is different than the decision one, which was koto ni suru. I decide to do. This is I will make it so that I can do. All right, let's look at another one. Same exact grammar, just a different sentence. Ikeru yo ni okane o tamemasu. I will save money so that I can go. So that I. That's what the yo is. So it can be so that you, so that he, so that she, so that we. Remember, Japanese is a neutral language. Their language doesn't imply anything. It's all context based. So the yo is contextually, could be you or me. The sentence doesn't. So you could say, watashi wa ikeru yo ni okane o tamemasu. I will save money so that I can go. Kare wa okane o tamemasu. He will save money. But you don't have to do that. It's all context. All right? Now I could say to you, be careful so that you don't fall, using so that you don't fall. Ochinai yo ni, so that you don't fall. Kiotsukete kudasai. Please be careful. Whew. Long question. We got more to go. Now let's go back. Remember, we were talking about iku koto ni suru, which is to decide to go. Let's look what naru does. Iku yo ni naru. Now, naru means to become. Now, to become is not an action that you take, right? It happens to you. So it was decided that you're going to go. Let's say that it got decided that you're going to take a trip to Japan. Your company made this decision that you're going to do shucho, a business trip to Japan. So, iku koto ni narimashita. Okay? Or maybe there were a lot of issues and a lot of outside factors, and okay, you know what? In the end, it all worked out. I'm going. Iku koto ni narimashita. It was decided that I am going. I didn't make the decision. If I make the decision, it's iku koto ni shimashita. All right? For example, Nihon ni iku koto ni narimashita. It's been decided that I'm going to Japan. Now in English you might translate this as just, hey, guess what? I'm going to Japan. And nuance-wise, it doesn't look like it's your decision, does it? Kind of feels like it could be someone else's, right? Well, look, man, my job, a lot of things happened, and guess what? I'm going to Japan. Iku koto ni narimashita. All right? Now, we have another word here, now we had yoni suru before, which yoni suru means you are going to make effort so that it can happen. You're going to do something so that it becomes that thing. But ni naru, again, same thing. The situation has changed so that now I can. For example, ikeru yoni natta. Guess what? I can go now. That's what we would say in English. I can go now, which implies, hey, I couldn't go before, but now I can. Ikeru yoni natta. The situation has changed and I can go. All right? You didn't ikeru yoni shimashita. You didn't make it so that you could go. It happened. All right? That's what the difference between suru and naru is. Naru happens to you, suru you do. And this situation applies to me. This is my third time trying to go to China, but it's not my decision. I'm an interpreter. I don't pay my own salary, and I don't determine which interpreter goes. This is my third time around, and finally, yatto Chugoku ni ikeru you ni narimashita. It finally happened that now I can go to China. I'm going to go to China. It wasn't my decision. Okay? Thank you. Wow. Good question. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too bad. All right, next question is, and I hope to God it's the last one. It is, this is from Maha 17. That's how Japanese say mak, by the way. They don't say maku, they say Maha. Maha 17. He says, out of curiosity, any benefit to you if I order off of Yes Japan store or go through Amazon? I guess he's talking about buying books. It doesn't matter where you buy it. Matter of fact, I recommend you buy it from Amazon. A lot less work for us here. If you buy it here, the price might be more expensive because we have to order it from the publisher. We pay shipping for it to get here. Then we ship it to you. We can't give you free shipping like Amazon does. And Amazon doesn't care about overall profit. They just need to make a small amount, so they charge less than us. And even though we make the books, we make just as much money pretty much if we send it from here or if it goes from Amazon, selling it to them wholesale. So buy it anywhere. I recommend Amazon or Barnes & Noble. All right, that is it. Whew. Thank you for watching. Stick around. I'm debating I might do an Ego Egg, which is our English series. If you want to watch every Ego Egg or anything that I've ever done in all Japanese, it is up on, for free, it's up on YouTube at Ego Egg channel. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Alrighty. Alright, it's time to teach some Japanese.
Pixar didn't happen, man. Pixar didn't happen. I don't even believe that I did it. All right. Okie dokes. I don't think you understand. I'm in an office all to myself laughing my ass off. Seriously, it's very disturbing.
Whoa, you guys are still here? Well, you've been here for 6 years. You might as well look at this video right here on top, which has been chosen specifically by the YouTube algorithm for you. Then down here, I've chosen one I think you might be interested in if you liked this Ask a Teacher. And also, oh my God, this subscribe button is totally wanting you to click it. Thank you. Goodbye.